We have a Whirlpool oven here. Model number YWEE745H0FS2, and the broiler element is not coming on, so we're going to look into that today. So the first thing we want to do is shut off the breaker to avoid any shocks, and then we're going to move the oven away from the wall. Once we have access to the back panel, we're going to want to remove it. There's a bottom piece here that we'll remove first, and then we'll remove the top piece. To remove the bottom piece, we're just going to remove this screw here and that screw there. Once the screws are removed, lift that up and over. Next, we'll remove the 3 screws on the side here, 1, 2, and 3, and the other side. Once the screws are removed, we should be able to slide this spacer bracket out, and we'll remove the spacer bracket from the other side. Next, we can remove the back panel by lifting it up and over the little brackets here in the end. Okay, so we have the bake element on the bottom here, and that one is operating fine right now, and the broiler element is on the top, so that's the one we're going to test. So the first thing we're going to do is remove these 2 metal clips here, and then we'll do a continuity test on the element. So we should be able to just pull those off gently. So with the multimeter in continuity mode, we want to bridge the 2 endpoints of the element, and we are not getting any continuity. So we're not getting any continuity, so it looks like the broiler element probably has a break in it. And with the multimeter in ohms, we are not getting any resistance. We're getting an open circuit. So it looks like the broiler element does indeed have a break in it. Okay, so to remove the broiler element, there is a screw at the very back, right there, that we're going to remove, and 2 on the top. 1 right there, and 1 on the other side. Once the screws are removed, we should be able to pull it straight out. Alright, so we have our new broiler element, and as you can see, there's continuity on this one. And we'll measure the resistance. And we are getting 14 ohms, which is what we expect to see, somewhere between 10 and 20 ohms. So we're just going to slide the new broiler element through the previous slots in the back there and screw it back in, the 2 screws on top and 1 in the back. Alright, so our broiler element is back in place, the new one. And before we secure the wires, we're just going to quickly plug the oven back in and test the voltage on those lines. Make sure that we're getting 220 volts to those lines there, and we'll make sure that we're getting power and secure them once they're done. So we're going to turn the broil on, broil, and start. Okay, so now that the broil element is turned on, we are reading 210 volts, so we are indeed getting voltage to those 2 lines. So we're going to shut the breaker off again. And with the breaker off, we're just going to reconnect the 2 terminals here. There's a thermal fuse right underneath the broiler element here, and that's something else that could possibly be an issue. But in this case, thermal fuse, it looks like, is connected to both the bake element and the broiler element. So if I had an issue with the thermal fuse, likely both elements wouldn't be working. In this case, it was just the bad broiler element, probably a break in the line somewhere. Alright, so before we put the back panels in place, we're just going to make sure it works. So we're going to turn broil on and start. And we can see that the element is burning off some of the chemicals that were on it. So it looks like the element is actually indeed working, and I can feel heat coming. So I think we have successfully fixed the broiler element in this oven. Now we can slide our back panel in place. A slot there, a slot on this side, and we can replace the 3 screws on the side. Just going to hang the spacer bracket in place first. Okay, and now we can replace our 3 screws on the side there. Okay, now we're ready to slide our back panel into place. Slides into those 3 slots here, and then turns down. Now we can secure the 2 bottom screws again at the bottom. That's how you fix a broiler element on a Whirlpool oven. Hope this video helps somebody.